Are we live? Yes, we're live. Right, I'm just going to check it on there. Just checking we are actually live, guys. Just while you look at me mop.
We are.
Yeah,
my
fabulous. So great. Now we can see the comments come through as we go. Good afternoon. Yes, so this is we're kicking off our week's worth of lunchtime lives, and it's all based around Mental Health Awareness Week. And today we are over the moon. We have our lovely Thomas, who is a member of our Soul Squad. They're going to be sick of your face, aren't they? Soon.
Possibly.
So we're going to be talking all around today, Isolation Nation. And Thomas is going to be sharing with us his experiences of being in isolation alone. How many days are you on now, Thomas?
Today will be 61.
61 days. Wow. 2 months.
Not that I'm counting.
No, not that you're counting. I did notice on your post earlier, you have got like the days added up. So Thomas is going to just be sharing with us his experience of being solo isolated for the last 2 months, which is a long time, and also the impact that that's had on his mental health. And he's going to be sharing with us some fabulous tips and techniques that he's personally been using and still is using. Don't know how long this is going to go on for you, to make the best of a situation. Yes, we love you. Donna Essential loves your lights. They're lovely, aren't they? Disco lights.
Disco kitchen. Yeah.
So thank you, Thomas, for joining us today and sharing. And you did a fabulous post in the Soul System today, just taking us through some of your journey and some of the ideas that you've come up with to make the most of this. So we'd love for you to share with us what's going down. What's it like?
It was obviously nobody could see this coming. So this solo isolation wasn't actually planned. So I live with my ex, long story, and we were just talking about gearing up to sell the house and everything, and obviously move on. But obviously this situation sort of scuppered all of those plans. So he actually was planned. He already had a week. He had a holiday planned. He was going to Amsterdam with his boyfriend. And he was also going to be doing some work down in London.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped him off at Leeds train station 61 days ago today to obviously do the work stuff. His holiday had already been cancelled, unfortunately. So yeah, it wasn't even planned. He was supposed to be away a week. So this is actually the longest I've ever spent on my own. I wouldn't say it's been lonely as such. I've not felt that sort of loneliness feeling really. It's just been a bizarre situation really for everyone. I felt sort of quite liberated. So I'm in the house on my own. It's never been this tidy ever. My ex, obviously, but I'm not picking up clothes. I'm not picking up, detritus everywhere. It's just, nice and tidy. And I've been able to do what I want, which is,
good, liberating. That's a great word. But like you say, it's like none of this was planned. So, and talking, obviously not going into any details about that, but the fact that you knew you were going to break up, but it wasn't meant to be the way it has been, that you've just gone from thinking it was going to be in a different way to just total.
It was everything. We were trying to plan everything out. So obviously it's all amicable, it's all fine. So we were going through all of the steps. Our divorce is in process. That's delayed. I don't know how long that's going to take now, but it's with the court. And then we were just gearing up to think about the house and putting it on the market and everything. And then just basically trying to plan everything out. As well, another dimension for me is I'm still unemployed after redoing last year. So I'm still looking for a job. That's not happening at the moment. That's just I'm resigned to the fact that I'm going to struggle now to get that dream job. I did have an interview just at the start of this whole madness, and I had really good feedback. I was the highest scoring candidate apparently, and they went into a recruitment freeze until September. I'm not having much luck at the moment.
Yeah. Timing not ideal.
No, terrible timing, really. So, one thing after another.
So you're literally in the middle of a breakup, but it was going to be a planned breakup, and then all of a sudden, jump. Yeah. And then being made redundant, and then the virus happened. So the opportunities to get a new role have been impacted, let's just say. And then you're in the house on your own for 2 months.
So I like structure.
Yeah.
A kind of structure, routine. So I think one of the things I'd noticed I was doing, I sort of split my activities into 3 main categories. So they've what I've put in my my post in the soul system, but they were for me, for the house, and for others. For me first, obviously, because I'm most important. But if I'm settled, then I'm likely to do the rest of it better.
Yeah, you are.
For the me part, I've tried to carry on as best as I can. So I was going to the gym a lot. Obviously, I can't at the moment because they're closed. So I've been running outdoors, which I'm not a big fan of, but I've become more of a fan. It has been fantastic. So it has been nice to get out and actually run outdoors for a change. So I did the Couch to 5K last year, October, November time, managed to do that. So I've been doing 5 to 10K now. And I ran my second 10K outside. I've done it indoors, but never outdoors. So my second 10K on Thursday, which was great. Couldn't move all weekend, stiff as a board, but I still managed to do it. I don't know. So that's one of the things. So really sort of trying to stay active. My sister and my parents bought me an iWatch for my birthday, which I had in isolation on my own as well, which was bizarre. Made my own cake.
All right, you had your birthday on your own as well, just to add to the list of things.
April Fool's Day. So they bought me an iWatch. So I've been obsessed with how many steps I've been doing a day. My sister keeps cheering me on for my runs, which I've had to share my my fitness app, whatever it is, with her. So we're sort of competing now.
Oh, good.
In rivalry. So that's the first, the keeping active. The other stuff I've been doing, which I was doing anyway before isolation, is I love cooking, baking, all that kind of stuff. So I've been, I think I've put on about half a stone. Trying not to make as many cakes as I was initially. I can't give them to anybody to eat. I've been basically eating. I did actually eat a whole cheesecake in about 3 days. 2 weeks back, which is great, but I wouldn't recommend it if you're trying to keep it.
No, that means you've got to start doing 20K runs if you want the whole cheesecake.
That's how I did run 10K. You know, the sugar. So I've been doing that. I'm on the Nigella Lawson app. It's similar to Instagram, but it's just food, basically. Food called Foodim. So she's commented and liked quite a lot of my posts, which is it's giving me a bit of a buzz. Big fan. And then what else have I been doing? And skincare. I'm addicted to face masks and anything like that. Trying to keep the years of there. That's all the stuff for me, and obviously.
And I think you can tell you are positively glowing, and you got your lights behind you, but your skin looks fabulous. And I have you to thank for the Expresso Martini recipe. Donna has been making espresso martini for the last couple of years, And we've travelled all over the world tasting espresso martinis, and none are as good as the one Donna makes. And then I found out that you gave her the recipe. You're the one to thank.
And I don't know which recipe I gave her, because so I need to remind me which it is. But yeah, I had several on Saturday.
Oh, did you? Good. Well, Donna's just saying, Donna said, oh, there's a Nigella app. What app is it? You can let her know. And then she says, how the hell have you not told me about this? And she says, you look fab for being 55. Donna!
That's nice for a 70-something-year-old to tell you.
Exactly. For an old age pensioner to tell you.
Yeah.
So let me just help to understand them, because you have gone in the middle of a breakup, then all of a sudden been on your own, you've had your birthday, you've been made redundant, you haven't been able to find a role, and you have managed to turn that into feeling liberated, exercising, cooking, and looking after yourself. So that's the choices that you've made out of this situation. Just help us, and for the people who will watch this, to understand in your mindset, like, did you have any, before you took this liberation, these steps, did you have any thought of, oh God, or I can't believe it and this has happened to me, and like, did any of that go through your mind before you changed it to the positive, or is that just naturally you?
I think I'm an optimist. I'm a positive person. Don't get me wrong, I've had my moments, but I think after last year was not a good year for me. I think after that, I think everything's just a bit grey in comparison, really. I don't think it hasn't really fazed me that much. I've avoided news outlets completely because they just wind me up.
Yeah.
I listen sometimes to the Downing Street Live, but again, I've not really tuned into them every day. I did initially, but again, I just found it to be quite impactful for all the wrong reasons. So I turn those as well. So I dip in and out. I choose when I dip in and out of the news. It's my decision.
Yeah.
If I feel like I need some information, I will go and look for it. But I don't want to be bombarded with noise.
Yeah, love that.
That's what it is, noise.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. My parents and sort of other friends sometimes wind me up with sort of links and things that they send me. Again, I don't read them.
Yeah.
If it interests me, if it's something that I want to know about, then yeah, I'll read it. But most of the time, the majority of the time, not going to get on board. Noise.
And I love that you choose what you want to take in, and this is what you're doing. You're nourishing yourself. You're doing something you love with your cooking. You're looking after your skin, and you're exercising. So you're nourishing your mind, your body, and your soul, which is a decision. And I love the fact that you said me is at the top of the list, because it should be for everybody. Me should always come first, because if you don't look after me, like you said, your other two areas that you're going to cover, it's like, how can you then help other people if you don't look after me? And sometimes we feel selfish or big-headed, or, you know, by saying that, but that's absolutely how it should be. So I love the fact that you're nourishing your mind. And Joe says, like, where do you get your mental resilience from?
I have no idea. No idea. Parents probably, yeah. And others, so learnings from work and from, yeah, definitely family and friends. I think it's a northern thing.
So it's just something that you just feel that it just comes more natural to you than being a glass half empty.
Yeah, that's just how I've always been. It just really winds me up when people take things to the negative side. I don't understand why you would do that when you can always, flip something and turn it into a positive.
So some people, if we just had a couple of comments there saying you're building resilience by making the right choices. Absolutely. And somebody said you are a Jedi in mental resilience. I don't know who that was. You'll have to look back at that comment. Love that. Well, you've proven that you are. And then somebody said you've just offended all of us Southerners. I nearly said Southern something else after as well. So good job I didn't. Sorry, Southerners. But yeah, so there's something in your DNA.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Good.
And then the other two on the list. So for the house, so my environment's really important. I touched on it before. My house has never been so clean and tidy. I think it's really important that you take care of your environment and where you live. It does really have an impact on you if you're living amongst mess.
Mm-hmm.
I can't live amongst mess. It makes me feel messy and it stresses me out. I like tidy. So that's the thing. And I think one of my friends said they couldn't be bothered doing anything, and I said, well, think of all they were bored basically. I think that was it. Well, think of all those jobs that you were talking to me about around the house that you've never got time to do. So I was like, well, not now, when? You've got all of this time, just do it.
Yeah.
You'll feel after getting all of those really, really annoying little snaggy jobs around the house.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I had noticed sort of at the beginning of all of this was I was really interested to see what other people were doing. And I think I came to the conclusion that yes, I can be inspired by other people who are completely overhauling, decorating full rooms, landscaping their gardens, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm on my own, so I can't do. There's only so much I can do. So I was thinking, well, I can be inspired by others, but I'm not going to be incensed by them. And good on them, but I can't, do everything, and I'm crap with a drill. So I'm not doing myself with any electrical equipment.
Yeah.
From my perspective.
I love that. So you decided, again, this is about choices, making powerful decisions to choose to be inspired rather than incensed. Because a lot of what can happen, I love that. Yvette's doing comments. It's Yvette, we've offended Yvette, by the way. Yvette, we'll love you. But I love that because what can happen and what a big impact on our mental health can be incensed, can be the comparisonitis, as Donna and I call it, where we're literally looking at everybody doing all these things to our houses. And even though on a logical level, we know that we can't do that ours, we still then make ourselves feel bad because we're not doing X, Y, and Z. So I love the fact that you've chosen to be happy and inspired by what they're doing. And then you've decided what you can do within your environment that makes you feel good. I love that.
Yeah. Safely as well.
Safely, without electrifying yourself.
Yes, exactly. And then the last one is for others, so family and friends and my tribe, basically. So making sure that I stay connected with everyone. Thank God for social media and Zoom and FaceTime, all of the different technologies. I think that was my norm for my family. So I live in Leeds. My family's up in the Lakes, so I don't get to see them that often. So we do rely on FaceTime and so I'm used to speaking to them like that. But I'm even more grateful for it at this moment in time. I mean, when I speak to my mum, I usually speak to her nostrils because she's just like ridiculous on FaceTime. And I think they're really grateful for it too, which is good. But I think making sure they're okay is really important, as well as all my friends as well.
Yeah.
And my ex down in London, so we're still in regular contact, just making sure he's okay. He's struggling to find some hair trimmers at the moment, so his hair's gone wild. So
dear.
They're like gold dust, apparently. So yeah, that's the other thing about for others as well. And I volunteered for the NHS responders. I've not had any yet because when I logged on around where I live, there's hundreds of us. So I've not had any tasks. So I feel a bit of a false volunteer.
Right.
Not actually done anything yet. I'm just on the app waiting to respond. Yeah.
Oh, that's so kind though that you've done that as well. I love that. And I'm just gonna, because we had a question there. Just Donna's saying you're a yoga guru as well, and she said you've always been mindful and you do a lot of gratitude and work hard to find the positives. That's just an innate part of your identity.
Yes. So on the yoga front, I am a qualified teacher.
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago, but I damaged my hip. So I've got arthritis in my hip. You know, being Donna say I was 50 something, quite old. So I don't practice yoga as much as I would like, but I have done some in the house during isolation.
Yeah.
Mainly a lot of stretching before and after my yeah, that's been fun.
That's good. And Joe wants to know, would you say that you have strong boundaries in place, and do you think that helps? If the answer is yes.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, boundaries are important. Definitely. I think that's kind of where the structure thing comes in as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're quite natural together, boundaries and structure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say so.
Because I think like the bit around the environment, like one of our coaches says that your external environment is a reflection of your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So, and we often talk about this, when your external environment is chaos, it can reflect that that's what's going on in your mind. Your mind's a bit chaotic, which is why we always encourage people to, like you were talking around, like tidy up that drawer where you stuffed everything in, or if you've got a cupboard in the house, like it can really help you to feel better, because when you've got a lot of chaos going on around here, it's just reflecting what's going on in there. So that's interesting.
It was, I can't remember where it was from now, but I think it was an interview with somebody, and they were talking about achieving things in the day and structure and being organised and stuff. And it was about make sure the first thing you do every morning is make your bed. I can't remember where it was from. So I've always done that, and you know, it's just little things like that.
Yeah.
That really sort of set up your day and your mentality of how you tackle whatever comes with it. At the minute, we don't know what's going on, and you can only plan so much. So I think the things that you do will impact you in your bubble, and then anything else that comes along, I think you're more able to react positively.
Yeah, when you've got the stuff that's around you all going on, it's all feeling good, and then something external happens, and actually you're able to cope better with that, because everything that you, let's use the word control for this purposes, everything you can control is, you've got it all sorted.
Yeah.
Where if that's all a mess and you haven't done this and you haven't done that and you haven't done that, and something external goes on, it's just another thing to like tip you over the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. I've got another question here. Lots of questions coming through. I love the fact you've embraced your situation and environment and made it your own. Very empowering. And I've just seen another question there. Let me just. What's the biggest thing this experience has taught you? I've just seen that. But the questions are all flying off the screen. Yeah. What's the biggest thing it's taught you?
I can't make bread.
You can't what?
I can't bake bread for my life.
Have you tried?
Bread, terrible bread. Oh God. I think that I'm not relying on others really, and sort of that independence thing. You know, I'm in control, and it's up to me to make best of the days. Really, I think that's the biggest learning, and I think actually nothing phases me really at the moment. I think because of last year, with the unplanned redundancy and the breakdown of my marriage, essentially, I think in comparison, this is I wouldn't like to say a walk in the park because it's awful. It really is, seeing, you know, the amount of deaths and everything. But for me, just getting on with it. It's just really on my radar that I should be panicking or anything like that. Just doing the do.
Yes, so I love that. So because you've said this is the longest period that you've been on your own in your life.
Yeah.
So you might have had an indication that you're going to handle it well, but you didn't really know how you were going to cope with it, did you? Until you flung in the middle of it 2 months on, really.
Yeah. I mean, I did have my initial sort of, however you want to call them, dark moments initially when I realised that I was going to be on my own. They were few and far between, really. I've had some such, I wouldn't say they were nightmares, but I've had some really, really bizarre dreams these past few weeks.
Right.
And very early on as well. I think everybody, I have actually dipped in and read a few articles on this, and a few people, because all of our sleeping patterns are all over the place. Yeah, dreams are very bizarre. So I've had my moments where I've sort of looked back and, you know, you question all of the things that you've done and how you've got to this point in your life.
Yeah.
You know, reflection things. And I think, it's important to reflect, but I think, what is it they say? Don't, look back, but don't stare.
Yeah.
And I think looking forward's more exciting than looking back for me.
Yeah, I love that. I think looking back but don't stare, and, you know, spending time in the past, especially if we're ruminating about difficult situations, and it's good to spend time in the future about possibility thinking, but not, as we call it, future tripping about all of worst case scenarios, which it doesn't sound like you're programmed like that, which is good. And you're spending a lot of time in the present, in the now, cooking, exercising, looking after friends and family, nourishing your body, which is amazing, because that's a really big thing for overcoming any mental health or any dark thoughts that you might be having, is coming back to now, to anchor yourself back to right now. I am, whatever it is, nourished, grateful, whatever the thing is. So that's amazing, though, that you've now had this realization when the universe has put these things in your path, that actually you've been on your own for the first time in your life, and you found it liberating, and you're inspiring other people, and you feel inspired. Like, what an amazing thing.
Yeah, I just don't. That's the thing. I don't really think what I'm doing is that much different to anybody else. I find it quite alien when people say things like that. But yeah, it's nice to hear.
Well, there's lots of comments about people saying on who are watching, saying how inspiring you are, which you can go back and look at. So I think because that's just the way you are, and you would take for granted, well, that's just who I am and how I go about things. But this is for other people. Some people don't even realize you get to choose. Some people don't even realize it's a choice to move into feeling liberated. Some people feel stuck in the dark thoughts. So that's a really great thing that you're able to do, and quite quickly, to get yourself out of the dark into the light. But also then you're spreading that light, which you're doing now. You're spreading the light for other people, to give them some ideas of what they can do when they're in the dark to get into the light. And beautifully displayed with the twinkly lights behind you, because you're just beaming. But it's you're very humble about it. But people are saying, take it, you deserve it, i.e. the compliments. Oh, well, thank you so much. See, the 30 minutes after, they just go like that, don't they?
That 30 minutes,
just fly by. And someone's saying, own it, you are a beautiful ball of inspiration. Love that.
Look like a ball.
No. But thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
All of the things that's happened, but of the way that you've just overcome it and just made the best out of it is absolutely amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for joining. Anyone on playback then would still love to hear your comments as you watch this back. Yes, and have a beautiful day. Thank you, everyone.
You.
Bye. Thanks, Thomas.